Welcome to a short and maybe messy bonus episode of
RyCanTopMyKnee.
We got another one for you people. We are back once again, and we're here to talk about episode 5. Who are you, by the way?
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Kevin. You ready to get into this review of episode 5 of Love in the Big City?
Yes, y'all. Get into it. This show is so good. This episode was a lot, so no spoilers.
There was a lot that happened.
We are going to have spoilers.
A lot that happened. Yes, there will be spoilers all throughout this. Y'all know the drill. We go through this all the time. There will be spoilers.
Okay.
And this is available to stream on Viki in the US and also on TVing in Korea. So, right off the jump,
bam.
We get it.
R.I.P.
Bam.
R.I.P. Mom. R.I.P.
We knew this was going to happen. You know, I was a little sad, but in a way, you know what?
Yeah,
I have to say,
in a way,
the producers of the show did a good job.
Yeah.
Of making me feel like relief, yet sadness.
Yeah, especially the last episode. They kind of been easing us into this, you know, like we know it's going to happen. Even Go Young, he like knew this was going to happen. Like it hits him, but it doesn't hit him that hard. So we all mentally prepared for it. Yeah, we're all mentally prepared for it. But I was damn, she's dead the first 2 seconds. Like I thought it was gonna happen at the end of this episode, but
I kind of knew it was gonna happen earlier in the episode, mainly because in episode 4, she was already very close to death.
Oh yeah, at the end of the episode,
could tell.
Yeah.
So I was like, they're not gonna
drag this out any
after
longer.
a while, it'll be a little cruel to kind of drag this lady onward.
I know, but she's all he has left, along with his gays, you know, his little squad.
Yeah, but she was ready to go. Like you could tell she was comfortable with leaving him in his chosen family, right? So, and she had already accepted him for the gay man he is, and left it at that.
But she doesn't know everything about him, which is wow. But we'll talk about that later.
We didn't know everything about him either.
Honestly,
like we learned a lot.
We learned a lot this episode.
A lot.
But yeah, I'm glad.
We also find out
his friends were all there
after she died.
I was gonna say I'm glad that his friends were all there for the wedding. I mean, not wedding. Oh my god, the funeral.
Child.
Lord. Not the wedding. The funeral girl.
The funeral. Yes. I will say I was really surprised that she had all just shmoney.
Oh, I mean, she had a lot of assets and stuff, I guess, right?
A lot of assets. I didn't think she was poor, but I didn't think she was had a ton of assets.
She had businesses. She ran businesses.
She had businesses. So Deacon Yum was definitely, that's why she said, you need to call me Deacon Yum.
She said, put some respect on my name.
Okay, she knew what she had going on. She knew what her real estate portfolio was looking like.
Oh my god!
So she said, "You better put some respect on this name." That's what she said, for real.
No, something they said in the while they were at the funeral home, like Goyeon was like, "Oh yeah, she has like so many people coming through here, all her like her clients and like people she matchmake," and then he said like even the cheating ex-husband is making an appearance, and I was like, "Oh, so your dad?" Like, and then we never got to see him.
I guess because he's not important. You know, he was never really a part of their life.
But still, I don't know. I would think,
and he's still not.
So you don't want to step up now that this dude's an orphan. He's gonna leave him being an orphan.
Maybe not, because he's a grown man.
He's still an orphan.
Maybe he's like, well, my son is grown. He's almost 30. I'm going to leave him alone.
Still tragic.
And he probably has kids with this other woman anyway.
Men ain't
like,
shit,
the man is trash.
Fathers are trash.
Trash, just throw it away. That's it.
I guess.
And I think, Go Young has thrown him away a long time ago. He's like, I don't need this. I'm good. So, I guess, can we jump to when he gets back home after his friends drop him off?
Yeah, the friends drop him off.
Mama's house.
He's like depressed in his house.
Yes. And I mean, he's already worked with the lawyer. That's how we found out that she was the queen of Korea.
Not going to Korea. Oh my god. She just had
but
she was waiting. I mean, not waiting, but she knew this was gonna happen. She had everything ready. Yeah.
yeah, for the past 3 years. So ever since she got diagnosed, which
Yeah.
says a lot, you know. Um, but I think, you know, he gets to the house. There's all that paperwork. That's done. He's trying to sleep.
I feel like he just stays
He
up all
can't
night long.
sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how can you be in your mom's home by yourself in the dark, literally after the funeral, and think you're going to be able to sleep? I wouldn't be able to sleep.
I wouldn't be able to sleep
I mean,
either. But I also wouldn't be
I
able
don't think I'd be
to
able to sleep.
go to the club in my funeral outfit.
Yeah, I mean, of course he wasn't thinking because he's not really in his right mind. His
Yeah.
friends called it out. And I mean, of course, he just lost his
My
mom.
friends are
So
like, girl,
there's a,
we really drinking right now? We really partying?
well, you know what? He probably needed that. And,
True.
I'm not that
We're
kind
not
of
here to
person do
judge,
that.
but
Yeah, but people, when they're grieving, they do some stuff like I felt as if he needed to escape the reality in that moment. Um, I think he gave him space. He gave himself a little bit of space to grieve. I feel as if, though, when you don't do that, it's going to come back. Like you're going because people grieve so differently, and sometimes grieving can last for years or decades.
I mean, that's
I
why.
don't think you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I thought maybe it's affecting who we meet later on, but
maybe
the way he's so quickly attached to new people. But I don't know. Go Young is always like this, but
right. So they at the club, and so
this was
what's
funny.
his friend's name that done took off his damn shirt
and
started
yeah,
and started beefing with the damn
that was
DJ
hilarious. I was like, not them being
because he
mad
wanted to
extra.
hear some Tiara. Gite, like, come on.
I mean, that would be me too. Honestly, like if you're at the club and all they're playing is like the same like dubstep or like trance music, you're like, ugh, please.
This is why, see, let me tell you something.
Throw on something with lyrics
People
at
are
least.
like, Kevin, why don't you like going to clubs? And I'm like, I don't like paying to be around a lot of people that I don't know, and then the music is bad. Like, if the music is not my taste and there are a lot of people in there I don't know, people who are not wearing deodorant or whatnot, I can't.
Oh my god.
Like, I don't understand.
His friends probably do.
Yeah, I mean, also I will say this. One thing I like about clubs in Korea, and this is why in Korea, clubbing there is definitely better than here in the U.S. With if there is a cover, and in many cases there is a cover.
Oh, you get a free drink?
If there is a cover. Yes, a drink comes with the cover. Any drink you want.
Oh yeah, it was like that in Thailand too. Yeah, when we went to the club, we got like 2 free drinks per like entry, and those drinks were huge.
Yeah.
I was like, but they also didn't really do anything to me. But they were huge drinks.
Yeah, and I mean, I was bad. I got a Coca-Cola.
Ooh.
That's bad because I don't do Coke.
Not bad. Period. You said, "Oh, I'm being naughty today." Oh my! She living on the edge. But yeah, his friends are being extra, ripping off his shirt, fighting with this DJ. The DJ's flipping them off. I'm like, this is so
DJ
extra.
Doing the most, so much, and I'm like, can you please put your shirt back on after 5 minutes of me looking and then put it back on?
Oh my god! After we oogle a little bit, but yeah, and then he accidentally elbows Go Young right in the face. And I was like, girl, he's had a rough day. This is comical. This is comedy right here.
And in a way, I'm kind of glad it happened because if not, G-Tay would have kept going.
Ooh.
And he was like, oops, I hit my friend. Oh my gosh, I hit my friend. So I'm glad he kind of did. Then the handsome bartender
was he handsome?
Comes there to help him. I think he's above average.
Oh, okay. Ooh, in what way?
Like,
in what way?
He's not fine. He's like, okay, like, would I take him home? Probably.
Ooh.
I
mean, my first
he's above average. He
impressions-
has cute cheeks,
My first impression was like, oh, this guy's kind of young. Like, I clocked it from the beginning.
Yes.
Like, the moment he, like, locked eyes with the bartender ordering drinks, I was like, oh, is this the final guy? Are we finally getting the final guy? And I was like, oh, he's kind of young. Because Goyeon's been sort of, looking for his older daddy this whole show. So, interesting. Very interesting.
Very interesting so far. So anywho, this
Anywho,
bartender comes up to him, gives him a water bottle because he done hit his mouth, puts it against his mouth, and then he comes to, and then Young kisses him.
as he should.
Yeah, with his lip bleeding and
Yeah,
stuff.
right there. I was like,
And then,
oh, this was like, I taste blood, and I was like, oh, why are we bringing up blood?
and you know what? In my head, I was like, tasting blood.
Literally, I was like, what?
Vampire-ish.
Oh, not that.
And that's kind of post-anal-ish.
What? What? My brain was.
You never heard of people
there.
giving analingus post doing the do?
To taste blood?
Sometimes that happens.
Y'all, leave a comment if you've ever. Like, what? Oh, what?
Sometimes that happens, especially if you're not using enough lubrication.
Anyways, besides the hemorrhaging, so yeah, Goyen, he like kisses this man, this stranger, and then he's like, oh shit, and like pulls away, and like runs away, and I'm like,
yeah.
And he leaves his little like
because he felt embarrassed,
I guess he's embarrassed, but he leaves his little like funeral arm satchel with the like fancy brooch
that was turned into a little pocket square with a brooch later. Because his friends are creative.
Because his friends are gay, yeah.
So then we find out that now, I guess, Young is moonlighting at, I guess we can call it moonlighting, at some kind of theater or whatnot.
Yeah, I was like, where are we? I was like, is this like an old folks home? Is this like a community theater? Like, what is this?
Yeah, I guess he's working at the ticket office. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I was like, are you security? Are you the ticket office? Like, is this your day job? Is this your night job?
He's something.
He said earlier that he was like, oh, I want to quit my job, right? Or something. Or maybe he says that later on. He was like, I need to quit my job. Maybe. And I was like, is it this job? Or I always wondered how he... Because I know it's hard to make money as a writer.
Right.
Like,
I mean, you get the royalties from your books, but I mean, those only go for so long. And that also depends on how well your books sell. You know?
He could be like a freelance copywriter on the side, or he like, it's like in-house for like a newspaper or like a column or something. Or,
yeah,
I don't know.
Something.
Or he got an OnlyFans something. You know what I mean? It's 2024.
I don't think he got an OnlyFans.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, he not tooting up that thing.
I wouldn't be
Camera.
surprised.
And also, I will say it is Korea circa 2020.
I know later. Yeah, we find out that it's 2020, and I was like,
right.
Oh,
but I will tell you this.
Pre-COVID.
Well, it's pre-COVID, but also like in Korea, it's extremely difficult to publish porn in Korea. So most Koreans, when they're seeing porn, it's from Japan. And if they want to get into the porn industry, they can take the risk of making porn in Korea, which that could last a couple years, and then your website could disappear because of the government. Or you go to places like Japan or Taiwan or Australia, and you make it there. Or Thailand. A lot of them end up going to Japan or Taiwan because it's closer. But, yeah. So anyway, that's a little fun fact. So he's not going to be tooting his ass up in Korea.
Hey, you never know. Maybe he got a Twitter. Y'all. I'm kidding.
He's not doing it there either. I guarantee. Yeah, no.
Oh, my God.
Not that man.
So anyway, we find out this man's name is Gyu-ho because he shows up to the theater or community center that Go Young is working at, which is kind of stalkery. And Go Young's like, how did you find me? Like, you stalking me? And this dude like follows the friend Jite, I guess, right? It was Jite or like one of the other friends.
Or Unsu, or one of the friends. I forgot which one.
And apparently he's like gay famous on Instagram or something, maybe. Because he's like, everyone follows him. And he posted on his story. So that's how I found you here.
Well, I mean, if he's a bartender, I don't know.
I mean, he's a bartender that works at like he bartends
at a popular gay club.
A gay club. So I guess, gays know each other. Especially in Korea, everyone knows each other probably. So.
I will say there is like maybe 3 degrees of separation with the gays in Korea, maybe. Yeah. Unless you're like really closeted, then probably not. Or you are like not a part of the scene. So, because if you're not a part of the scene, then you probably may not know them. So,
I mean, I'm just glad that this
um,
guy's not another closet case. He's not DL. Like, he's already giving kind of openly
thank
gay from the
God.
start.
Right. I mean, yeah, if you're working already, if you're working at a gay bar, more than likely you're gay, even though not everyone who's
More
at a gay bar
likely,
is
you're.
gay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's more possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that he was kissed and didn't reject and was like, "Oh, I taste blood,"
Ooh, he
then
wanted to
that's
taste
it.
some more. No, but
He wanted to taste another fluid.
oh my
So
god,
anyway,
they go to get some
so
coffee afterwards, right?
yes, and they get coffee.
And he calls him
One thing I
cute.
noticed, it was cute. He was so cute in his glasses, first of all, and I love a
Love a man in
man in
glasses.
nice glasses, not ugly
Oh
glasses,
my god.
nice glasses. And then he said something about so Young takes the rest of Kuho's coffee, and then goes, and of course we see that Kuho says, "Oh, you have the habit of stealing things because you stole a kiss." Ha ha
I
ha
know.
ha
I was
ha.
like, oh, I didn't get it at first. I was like, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Loving the
Mm-hmm.
big city.
But know what I also saw too?
That's a
Who
callback to
else?
yeah. That was a callback.
I was like, I forgot that man's name already because
Oh,
I've been trying to block him out
Young
because of
Soo.
what he did to our. Oh yes, Young Soo.
It
That's
just
right.
happened last
Because what
episode.
he.
Already dropped him from your memory. You better drop this
Yeah,
man.
because the way he did Young so dirty, he did Young so dirty. So I was like, you know what? X him out. Like, stay in America with your
He's
so-called
not in America though. He's
sister.
not even in America. He's in Korea still.
Really?
Remember at the end of the episode, he said like, I sometimes see you and your mom at the park, and I want to come up to you guys, but I
Oh
don't. Like he
yes. So
lied.
he's
He's
been
still in
around.
Korea. Anyway, this hoe.
Mm-mm-mm.
But yeah, it is funny how Go Young is
Anyway.
taking like you see these little
Mm-hmm.
influences from his past relationships. Like Namgyu, you saw that
Yes.
he what did we see? I don't know. We saw that he got his life together. Let's say that.
Yes,
From
he has
Namgyu.
his plans in order. That's what he has
He's got
going
his ducks
on,
in
which
order
is
from
good.
Namgyu. And then from
Right.
Youngsu, you see that I don't know, maybe he's a little more emboldened now to confront
Yeah.
men and be open about a relationship. I don't know.
Yeah. And then I also want to point out, by the time they get to the station, right, to
Yeah.
part ways,
Yeah, yeah.
they're in a that's by the Huehua station, which
Oh, you
is
remember it?
actually that neighborhood is known for a women's university. So there's a very prominent women's university around there, and also that neighborhood is a little bit more, at least lately, has way more kind of restaurants and like little kind of bars, but it's more chill than like places like Itaewon
Mm-hmm.
or Gangnam or what's the other neighborhood that I've been to a little too many times?
All right, our Korean
I forget.
expert here, Kevin, on
Yeah,
the pod.
so I'm trying to think of
Don't
this
worry.
other neighborhood that I haven't been to that I've been to a little too many times, but it's very chill, and there's a lot of stuff open late, but not everything.
Yeah,
I
this
also had some
show.
really good glass noodles around there. I would say that. So
Yeah, these two love to hang out at night, or at least Yuho loves to hang out at night because I guess
right,
his hours are so crazy. But it's also like, how are
right,
you? I guess let's skip ahead. Like we find out
but
that he's
yeah,
a nursing student.
yes, we're skipping ahead, but can we talk about when they get their little drink together before we get to that part? Did you? I was already in the back of my head playing that song by T-Pain.
Oh my God, what song?
You know, the bartender. Yeah,
Hey,
you're looking at me. You know that song? Yeah.
this kid does not give bartender. He's so young. I don't know. I see him as like a little baby, for some reason.
Yeah, but he's not that young, as we find out
I know
later.
he's like dead as my age, but yeah.
Literally.
But yeah, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, this bar scene where they get a drink. It's a little awkward where he's like trying to flirt. Goyun's like, you don't want to know me. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm hilarious, but like, whenever I try to be funny, things turn out bad. And this dude's like, oh, I think you're funny, but you're also dirty. Like your jokes are funny, but they're also dirty. And I was like,
Mm.
ooh, I was like, this is very Kevin. With your dirty jokes.
Yes. Very nasty, very gutter snipe.
Ooh, gutter.
100%.
Emphasis on the gutter.
And some of them are not dirty. They just come off dirty, but they're not intended to be.
Oh my god. And that's Go Young. Yeah, that's Go Young too. Yeah, but this scene with the lip balm, I was like, this is so sensual out in the open. That's what I was like. I like that this guy is not DL.
Right, and he was like, it's warm. And I'm like, yeah, and moist.
I was like, oh, he's trying to fuck so early.
He's trying to let you know what he got.
Oh my.
So
but he says he doesn't sleep on the first day. He waits until after meeting her for 3 times, you know.
And in my head, I'm like, he didn't douche. That's okay. Ooh. That happens.
Hello, we know. Yeah. Going his big old bottom. So give some time to prepare. Oh my god.
Yeah, but he literally said, you keep on looking 'cause the goodies stay in the jar. Oh, okay, Sierra, we see you.
Oh my god. Anyway, he stays over. Yeah, and the next morning, that like Go Young like instantly falls asleep. So they don't do anything. They don't fool around.
He knocked the fuck out. It was
a long day for him. Damn. The funeral to no wait, this was like the next day though.
It's the same night.
It's the next day.
Is it the next day?
Yeah, this is the next day. So it's still like a long 2 days for him.
Oh, that's I wasn't sure. Yeah, it was the next day. Yeah, but he had a lot going on. But damn, I was like, this dude knocked the fuck out.
I think
like
because he had someone got on the bed. Maybe he didn't feel so alone having this man with him.
Well, maybe that, and plus he had been up for the past few days anyway. Eventually, your body's going to take over. So
true.
So this is when we find out he was born in 94, nursing student.
Not 94.
Yeah.
No. No, this dude is born 1995.
Later in the show, he says 94.
I think he's saying his Korean age.
And Young was born in 93.
He's saying his Korean age because the ID that I said 95.
It sure did.
So,
I see. They don't.
The subtitles were trying to.
It's so confusing.
Yeah, I was like,
and I will tell you this. They got rid of that last year.
Yeah, so but the show was in 2020.
Age, thank goodness.
The show was in 2020. Weirdly, I was like, does that make a difference? Why are we in 2020?
I think it does.
Is it because it's pre-COVID, and they want into it in like a world that's pre-COVID?
Maybe we might. Maybe the next few episodes
we're getting into COVID storyline. No, please, no.
That could be a lot. They might end up being a COVID couple. We'll see.
Not COVID couple. Throwback to the OG BLs.
Right. So, but we find out he's bartending. He's a nursing student. So Kyuho is doing a lot.
And he's younger.
And then he's only a year. They're a year apart. So they're not like there's not a huge age gap. Not like when, with him and Namkyu, where Namkyu was like 35.
I know, but this is the first time that Go Young's the older one, and I was like, all right. Yeah.
And when he met Namkyu, he was like 22. So there was a big gap.
He was like a freshman in college.
Yeah. So he was a young tender.
He was a young tender.
Right. And now he's older. And then I think he was like 23, 24 maybe when he met up with that thing. So
that man.
Yeah, thing.
He who shall not be named.
Right. So anyway. With his fine ass. What a fine thing he is too. But still.
He really was. He still is on Instagram. Gosh. I had it on Instagram, y'all.
Now that actor, he can get it.
Ooh. You think he has that back tattoo? No.
That's okay though. The back is nice without the tattoo too. So
and it really was. Let's clock that.
Okay. So anyway,
we found out
his girl Mie calls. Hey girl.
Hey.
We're so excited to see her. And she brings her friend, her sister-in-law, because her husband is out on a business trip. So she's like, let's go out.
I know, it's been so long. I feel like we haven't seen her like in the show itself. I feel like
it's been a few episodes.
It's been a few episodes for us, but like for Go Young, I was like, have you not seen her for like 5 years? Like she wasn't there for the funeral.
Yeah, she wasn't there for the funeral as far as we know.
So I'm like, have you not seen her in like 5 years since college? Like that's kind of crazy. Since your wedding?
Yeah, that's a long time. So, anyway, she at least calls up. They go out, but the way he kind of spoke to her, it sounds as if maybe they have spoken before.
Oh, okay.
Like, so it's not as if.
So maybe they still keep in touch.
He hadn't.
Just not in physical touch. I was like, does she live that
they
far?
just haven't had the time.
Because he's with her and the sister-in-law at this like straight bar, I guess, like just a regular bar.
Right.
And he's already like not feeling it, and he leaves and ditches them. And I was already like, oh damn, like that's your bestie.
Right, but also at the same time, their relationship is different because you know when people get married and their life shifts a little bit, so unless you're shifting with them, you know it's gonna your vibe is gonna be different. Not that you dislike them or anything. It's just the vibe is different. You know? And she's more mature, and this is her first time kind of letting loose.
Yeah, I feel like
because she was
kind of letting loose a little bit. So I was surprised he didn't invite her to their usual spot.
I think she was mainly there to kind of get her sister-in-law to kind of, you know,
to get some dick.
The sister-in-law was clearly single, and she was like, trying to get her to meet some man, and said, "These are the men you need to stay away from. Get away from them."
I see.
And
you can't do that at a gay club.
No, because none of the men are going to want you, and if they do, they're bi.
You never know, that's okay. Right? You never know.
Because bi, you never know. Threesomes are fun, you know, for some people. So anyway, so he goes over back to the bar, and we find out that Kyuho is an island boy. Okay, come here, rude boy. Okay.
I was like, do they really? I was like, do they actually like refer to themselves as island? Like islanders.
Well, it is an island.
I know, but like Manhattan is an island. So, like, am I gonna call myself an islander?
Jeju Island is sister islands with Hawaii.
Oh, they're like the same from the same branch.
No, like you know how you have sister cities?
No.
Okay, for example,
send me back to school.
So Chicago and Toronto are considered sister cities because they have a lot in common. They're both cities on Great Lakes. They're both cities that have roughly 3 million people. They're both economic cities, all of that. New York has some sister cities too. I think New York's sister city is like London, and I think also Tokyo. You know, so it's something that, look it up. Like, they call them sister cities because they have certain kind of elements that are similar to each other. And it's an official thing. So Jeju Island and Hawaii are considered sister islands because they have a lot of similar kind of things where they're considered vacation spots for people from the mainland.
But
they
is Jeju
are tropical.
Is it always tropical?
They have a volcano. Huh?
Is it always tropical there? In Jeju Island?
Jeju is way further south. So I've been there before. It's very hot and humid. It's not as hot as Thailand. I'll say that. It's not that hot.
So it doesn't have seasons.
It doesn't have seasons. It can get cold, but it's not like snowing. Like, think of like Houston. Kind of like that. Except much better than Houston.
Never been to Texas, but sure.
Yeah, so kind of like
Houston, New York.
Okay, have you been to Florida?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like LA. LA can get cold at night. It can get really hot.
Like it can get cold, but you're talking about
it's
like
not
cold
a New York City
in
winter.
The 60s.
Yeah.
Right, and it's not a Seoul winter. You know, it's not like that. So
anyway, back to the show.
Anyway,
it's long.
You were like, so you didn't realize that there's an eagle in Korea?
No, I've never been to Korea, Mister. You're the only one that's been there. Remember, we just found out that there was an eagle in Japan because it was like opening up when they did that show, that 25 o'clock at Akasaka.
Yes.
And we were like, oh, there's an eagle Japan.
Yes, so there's an eagle Korea, and I sent it to you for you to look at later.
So I was like, oh, so that's the club that they're always going to, this eagle Korea, man.
Yes. And so I'm pretty sure that they probably were like, oh, we would love to be a part of this show.
Yes,
you know?
Support queer, local queer
content. Yes.
Queer content, queer businesses. All right.
Yes. So this is the third time though that
they're meeting.
Kyuho so
homeboy waits for him all night long to finish his shift until like 5 a.m. when dude is finally checking out, to be like, hey, I don't have tatsy money, so like let's go to my place, but like you pay. I'm like, boy.
So he's like, he wants to go ahead and get that hoe.
You want to rock the boat.
Yes. Baby, we can stroke.
Oh my God. How many references?
So anyway, so
Anyways,
they get into the bed.
they're doing the nasty.
Hugo wants a raw dog in.
I was so scared here. I was really like, no. This inexperienced little boy. What is he doing?
Right.
Talking about.
And he said because he goes soft sometimes with the condom. And I would tell you this. A lot of Korean men, because my girls have told me this, okay?
He's trying to sleuth.
They don't, a lot of them don't like using condoms.
We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, a lot of them don't. That's why some of these girls get trapped.
Okay.
I
feel like these girls want to get trapped.
That's why, when you think about why is abortion so easy to access in Korea?
Because no one wants to wrap it up. Come on, Korean men.
Mm-hmm. So, but I will say, remember before we started recording, I was mentioning something. A friend of mine, which this is the part I didn't tell you, but I'm going to say it here. A friend of mine who I almost dated.
Ooh. Say it.
Not saying his name.
Say his name. He's not listening to this podcast.
But he is Korean.
We'll bleep his name.
And he got his, he's bi. Mm-hmm. He came out to me as bi. And the way that he has his wife now is, he said she trapped him.
But he really did the trapping.
Period. Ooh. But I think the thought is, she could have, gotten an abortion.
Oh my God. Girl, this is messy.
Yes, but that's okay. They don't live in Korea at the moment, and that's all I'm gonna say. If I say more, I'm gonna get my ass in trouble.
Anyways,
the whole time I know we're watching this bedroom romp, and it's like, if you are going to say, "Oh, I'm not going to use a condom," you better be on prep.
That's what I'm saying. Like out of all the people in this show, I feel like Go Young would be on prep. I feel like he'd be such a big advocate. I feel like this show could have been a good opportunity for all the friends to talk about it, like a little 2 seconds of the friends being like, I gotta go pick up my pills, girl, I gotta get my
I hope it becomes that in the next
couple episodes.
And I will say too, I don't think in 2020 or earlier prep was accessible. As wide. I wouldn't say it wasn't well known. That I don't know. Yeah, but I will say I don't think it was well known, at least among the gay folk in Korea at the time.
I don't know.
I'll say that.
I feel like
so. I don't think it was known yet. Because in the U.S., we also have to remember, in the U.S., prep has been around for it's been around for maybe over 10 years, but I don't think it really became
it's not as widespread.
And so maybe 6 years ago.
It hasn't been so free and accessible since the past 4 years. Yeah. Ever since COVID, you can get it for Well,
I mean, $99 now. No, you could get it in 2018, 2017 pretty easily too.
I mean, but all these new right to your door services really started up.
Oh yeah, you didn't have that. Yeah. But I mean, the point is you could still get it prescribed then and pick it up from your local pharmacist. It was still easy to get. I think the difference is in Korea, I don't think it was even a part of the conversation. That's where I think the difference is. I don't feel as if it was as widespread then. I could be completely wrong because I was not in those conversations. And also we have to remember too, Korea is a more conservative culture than the US, shockingly. So when it comes to talking about sex, even with straight people, it's not something people like to talk about. So it's something that takes a lot of courage to talk about that, even amongst your friends sometimes, So anyway, he's not on prep. I feel like he's not on prep.
But he should be knowing what we know already. Not we'll talk about it later, but he wasn't even that careful. He was just keep it on, but not even being stern about it. Yeah, which was kind of shocking.
And then we also figure out, this is where we learn that Young is a verse bottom, because remember he did say You weren't listening to their whole bedroom conversation like I was.
I had my left eye on Google Docs, y'all, and I had my right eye on the shell. Like,
yeah, Jonathan was cockeyed during this whole thing, so I was not.
That's why I'm half asleep now. I used up all my energy
because I know how to look at a screen and type at the same time.
All right, Queen.
So I will say, yeah, because Secretary Kevin to the rescue. Mm-hmm. Anywho, the way I know about this was Young said, well, if you get soft, I can go ahead and.
Oh, he said we can switch it up.
Fuck you. We can switch it up.
I have to go back and see that scene. I didn't even notice that. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. So Young is a verse bottom. I think he prefers the bottom, but if he,
the
he don't have to.
Him. All right, go off.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you know what? Sometimes when that prostate is hit.
Oh.
That's all. That's it. That's all you need.
You must have quit.
Yeah. So, anyway. Next morning, they wake up so domestic. I love seeing breakfast being made. I'm someone who loves to make breakfast.
But not in no stranger's house. You're like, hey, I made you
coffee I like to do it in my house, not in a stranger's house.
I'm like, why are you touching my shit? Why are you touching my...
Yeah, that's a little weird. But I will say, like, in my house, if I have someone sleep over for bedroom escapades... I mean, I'm going to at least make them breakfast. I'm going to at least give them a coffee.
Oh, no.
My coffee is great. My breakfast is great.
You're leaving immediately. No.
Yeah, I'm going to at least, unless I don't like you, but then if I don't like you, you're not even sleeping over. You're leaving the same day.
Yeah, I'm like, you're leaving 2 minutes afterwards. Goodbye.
Yeah, but if we like each other enough and you sleep over, okay, great. I'm going to make breakfast in the morning, at least give you coffee. I'm going to be nice. So I love to see this. Like, I love it, He lives with his med student brother who games all day and saves lies at night.
I was like, all right, very random.
Or saves lies all day and games. I don't know.
I think it was games on day and saves lies at night. It was a really weird schedule. Yeah. But he was like, I don't feel comfortable with my brother or something. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because if he's, it sounds like they kind of live together, but they're not friends.
Which is very interesting.
They're just there by blood because his mama said so.
Yeah, I guess since if he's been in Jeju Island this whole time, and he's just now moving to Itaewon to kind of follow in his brother's footsteps.
He lives in Incheon. Oh. And he's working in Seoul. That's what he's doing. Oh. Yes. So, and Incheon is where the airport is at. That's actually kind of a commute because Incheon to Seoul by public transit is almost an hour.
That's a normal commute for a New Yorker.
Yeah, that's like...
That's a Monday night. It's a Monday night.
Yeah, and it depends on where you're going in Seoul, because if he's going to Itaewon, that's more like an hour and a half. That's a commute, so that's like, think of you going to Bronx to work every night.
No, that's more than an hour. That's like 2 hours away.
It's long.
That's 2 hours away.
It's long. As in
me going to Manhattan is already like an hour.
For me, it takes me to get to Bronx. It takes like an hour and a half, maybe an hour 45 if the train works. If the train is not working,
Michelle is
in either one of the trains, because one of them is gonna mess up sometime.
Anyway,
Anywho,
and that's when we found out that Go Young is 28 and this dude is 27.
So only a year gap.
And the year is 2020 because he was looking at a bottle of like dark soy sauce, and he was like, "Oh, it expired 2019, March 2019, 10 months ago." And I was like, "Wait, hold on."
That's a whole mess.
I was like, "Are we in 2020?"
Right.
I'm so confused.
That's a whole mess. So a lot of time has changed, and hold that thought, because these are things that I have questions that I need answers to, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Oh yeah, later when they also bring up a date of 2014. Yeah.
Right. So that's when I'm like, I got a lot of questions. So I love how Q-Ho comes and it's like, I'm going to put up curtains.
Yup.
Because I see you squinting as you sleeping and all of that.
I was like, that's very cute. I was like, that was very me with Steven, because he did not put up curtains, and I was like, everyone just sees you naked all day long. That's weird behavior. Voyeurism.
I mean, low key, someone said the same with me, but I have blinds, but I keep my blind in my living room up.
So you're like, hey.
Yeah, but no one can really see.
I
I
see.
mean, there's a good, between that window and the next window, there's maybe a good, I don't know, 100 feet. So unless you're really
If
trying to
you're really
get a
bored,
taste of chocolate and you're really
you trying to sneak
bored,
a
you
peek.
know, yeah, you're not going to see nothing.
Hey,
So,
neighbors are weird. People are weird, but
okay. And then the other windows I have face an empty lot. So, so unless somebody's lurking in the bushes.
ew.
Anyway, um, I love how, counting moles.
Yeah, this was such a cute scene. This was giving
Cute.
BL. This was giving like this took me
Yes.
out of like regular life and put me into BL. Which I'm like,
Because it was really cute.
yeah.
And I'm glad we got that moment
I'm just
because
this man has gone through so much. He needs something.
he needed it. He needed it. Losing his mom, losing his first boyfriend ish, then going through that tragic, horrific thing with that
With the
thing.
second boyfriend, even his
Yeah,
best
the
friend getting
thing.
married off so early, like
Right.
he's losing hoes left and right.
Right. Right.
Well, that's why I
And
don't trust his kid. I don't know.
And then he had that. Then later that night, he goes to bed and he wakes up with this. Well, he doesn't wake up. He has this dream, and Mie's in the dream saying, "Why are you still in this damn apartment?" Which low key, that's the second time someone said that because remember, on the drive on the way to his mom's house
His
after
friends
the
were
funeral,
like, "Why are you still living in that apartment that's by the
apartment
school?"
that, yeah, you've been done with school for a long time. Like, now that it's come up twice, it's kind of like,
He can't.
maybe,
he
do you
let it
think he's
go.
probably going to move?
That's probably going to be the
like,
end of the show. He's going to have to like move on from his past. Yeah.
Yeah. He has to let it go.
I mean, that's what this
Keisha
dream
Cole
is
said
about.
the same thing.
Oh my God. That's what this dream is about. He's kind of like looking at his insecurities, I guess, because Mie calling him lonely, his mom being a little homophobic. I forget what
and
the
then
mom said.
I forgot what she said, but she had a mouth. So lady had a mouth.
So
okay,
I wouldn't
she
be
said
surprised.
a lot of stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
if she said one too.
But what was wild was not the messy straight, the straight, quote unquote, straight homophobic ex
Made a little
in
appearance.
the corner saying like, I hope you found the right one. Sir,
that's none of your business.
Why are you still showing up?
I was
Yeah,
surprised
why are you showing
Namgyu
up?
didn't show off in this little dream nightmare sequence or whatever.
You know what, low key, I'm actually kind of surprised too. Maybe because I was thinking, okay, maybe
I was like, does
he's
he
gonna
not
show up
have?
because
I'm pretty sure he still has regrets about Namgyu, or something.
maybe he's really gotten over that. I don't know. Maybe I will say maybe.
Maybe just homeboy didn't want to. The
that
actor
thing
didn't want to come
helped him
back.
get over it.
No.
I think. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
Yeonsu did not do anything for this boy besides traumatize
yes, he
him
did.
more.
Yes, he did. Remember, before there was the trauma, they were actually good until he found out, and then, then we realized that thing needed to go.
Oh my God.
What he did was demonic.
Behavior.
Anyway. So he gets woken up from this dream because Kyuho is knocking at the door at damn 6 a.m.
He's like 12
and then it's
hours
like,
after
can we
my
go
shift.
out? And it's showing up with Macron. I would be so pissed. Like,
because he lives so
don't
far
you
away.
ever.
So he's like, I know you live close by, so I'm just popping up here.
Right, but know what I would do? Know what? No, you can't be. I don't care where you live. Don't you ever knock at my door at 6 a.m. unless you are being chased by the police, you're being chased by aliens, zombies. Like, if you are in imminent danger, I got you. But if you can take an Uber or a cab home, you better take your ass home.
You said, fuck the macaroons.
You don't wake me up at 6 a.m. Right. I don't want no macaroon.
Oh
okay?
my God.
Like, it is too damn early. That's the last thing that's on my mind is a macaroon. What's on my mind is my bed. Okay.
Anyway, he does manage to drag him out the house.
He does.
And he's like, I want to see something cold. And they go to this another kind of mountain view point And I was like, oh, are we going to the same spot that we went with Namgyu before? But I guess not. This is somewhere different.
No, this is completely different. Yeah. And I actually have been to that spot before.
Okay, Torista.
So I know where that is. And remember the person I told you about? He's taking me there.
Oh my god. Anyway, you were having your little Gyuho over there.
Yeah, it was the one. Yeah, it was the one that was like, this place is famous for dates.
Oh my. And Gyuho is over here saying, hey, this place is famous for dates too. And he says, I want to. Do you want to go out for real? Like, start dating. And I was like, oh, I'm surprised this guy is the one that brings it up first. Completely different to what we saw with Yeonsu.
Yes. And then we get a story from Young, and it's an important story. First of all, I was shook.
I was really
that
shook.
He had an ex 5 years prior.
Yeah, like 5-6 years. So it's at 2014. If we're in 2020 right now, it's February 2020.
Yeah. So, and he went off to military service, and the time he came back, you know, because they always get a little break from military service to go back and do whatever. He hooked up with his man. They did it. They were raw dogging it.
Crazy.
And he goes back to service, gets the blood test, and come to find out, he is HIV positive.
I screamed, Kevin. I screamed.
I gasped. I was so shocked.
I had to like look over. I had to like go back and see if that's what really happened, because the doctor doesn't even really say it. The doctor's just like,
"Are you a top or a bottom?"
Yeah, he's just like, "Are you a top or a bottom?"
That's how he started off the conversation, and that's how I knew it's like, "Oh crap, this man has HIV." Because why would you even ask that question like that? And also, that was also kind of disrespectful.
Also, that's crazy that they're testing for that.
Yeah, I mean, because I've never been. Maybe one day we should, you know, in the regular pod, maybe we can get, you know, one of my Korean friends that has done military service.
Talk about his experience.
Ask, yeah,
being a gay in the military. Yes.
Well, the friends I know are all straight, but with the exception of one, but he probably won't do the show. But I think, you know, they could give us insight, because I want to say everyone who's in military service gets blood tests for everything. So that's how they find these things out. Like it's routine. So I felt so badly, because that being in 2014, back then, there were antivirals and things like that, you know, so you could still live a healthy life, you know, being HIV positive, live a long, healthy life back then. But PrEP had just come out in some countries, so it wasn't very common back then. So I'm pretty sure in Korea it wasn't even a part of the conversation at all. And I still don't think even today, I think today it's just becoming a part of the conversation. So, but like I said, a lot of guys in Korea, straight and gay,
no one likes to wrap it up. But this is insane. Right. And then he gets discharged from the military early. Yes. And his friends are like, oh my God, what did you do to get discharged so early? Like, did you eat poop? Like, what are you doing? And they're all like laughing. And then another friend like joked about like, oh, is it HIV? Ha 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 ha. And then Goyeon just like walks off to kind of like.
Well, also another thing with that too, there was a guy that they saw. They didn't show us who the guy was, and they're like, cover your drinks, that guy has HIV.
It's just insane.
And see, again, that tells you how like in 2014 the stigma was so bad, and it's still there, and it's still here in the US too.
Oh, the stigma it's still very there. Is
yeah, but the problem is people are not educated, especially queer folk, when it comes to sex. You know, they're
let alone straight
it's
folk.
Really, yeah, a lot of straight folks are not either. By the way, catch this tea. You heard last year how a lot of the infection rates for HIV in the UK were among straight men and women.
Yup.
Yep, because they're not being told about things like PrEP and all of that but now they are.
Or they're just not
since
having safe sex. Straight people aren't either.
Well, yeah, they're not either. That's
Yeah.
why do you think a lot of these girls complain
Ooh.
about these men getting them knocked up? So they're not either. But now there is more of a push to get straight men and women also to use PrEP. So it's slowly becoming a part of the conversation for heterosex.
Along with just getting checked up regularly. Which
unlike with queer folk, if we're sexually active, even if you're monogamous, you're still getting checked regularly. And I think everyone should, I mean, there were certain things. I have a few friends of mine that similar to Young, you
find out,
even though they were monogamous, they found out that they were HIV positive through getting tested, and they just thought they should do it, and that's when they broke up with their partner, because they realized clearly
you just can't trust anyone.
That means my partner has been going around hooking, doing stuff, hooking, and not telling, and cheating and lying. And then some of them even had, some of my friends were like, yeah, my ex to this day still says he's negative.
Insane. You can go to prison for that.
So
if you knowingly spread. Anyway, but so Go Young is all alone in this newfound news that he's positive, and he's listening to this one artist over and over, Kylie, and he names his HIV Kylie.
I thought it was Kylie Minogue.
Same, but I was like, this is not her music.
It's not.
So yeah, he names it Kylie, and he's like, Kylie's been with me for 5 years already, and she's gonna be with me for the rest of my life. And he's telling this whole story to Gyuho to kind of be like, are you sure you want to date me? Like, he's never even told this. He didn't say this to Youngsu. He never told to Namgyu.
Right.
And this happened right after, or right before Namgyu. I want to say, right? Like, this happened
that's
right
what I'm
before
trying to figure out.
So you would think
he's
it's fresh.
28, and this happened 5 years ago. That means it happened when he was roughly 23, sometime before. He's after Namgyu, but before that thing.
Oh, you think it's after Namgyu?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's after Namgyu, because usually military service in
Korea
after happened
your sophomore year.
You either do it just before you start university, or you do it in the middle of your program.
Okay.
So more than likely, he did it somewhere in the middle of his program. But that's why I'm thinking it has to be after Namgyu, but before Youngsu.
But he didn't tell Youngsu either, which is very...
He didn't.
I guess that would have added so much more fuel to his fucking homosexual... But I have a feeling
they use condoms.
Oh, for sure. But it's still I don't know.
Definitely for sure with Youngsu.
They were so in love.
Youngsu was so... Well, that and Youngsu was a closet homophobe.
Yeah,
right?
so I'm glad he didn't.
So, of course, he's not trying to catch nothing, because he's on the DL, Lolo, DL.
Yeah, so...
the Lolo, the D-Lo, la Lolo, Lolo.
Anyway,
that's what he is.
He in the needs help.
Yes, and needs serious help. Anyway,
we have a million side tangents today, y'all.
We do, because I had questions, but maybe we'll get answers in the next episode. I will say, though, I really, really like Gyuho.
You do?
In this moment.
Oh, yes, in this moment, yes.
In this moment, because when people reveal that they're HIV positive because of the stigma, a lot of times they get shunned, and the way that I know that the stigma is still there, people still use the word... When they're saying that they're negative, they like to use the word clean instead, which is so disgusting to me to use that word, because to me, cleanliness means hygiene. So it's not about your status. It's more of, do you shower?
Yeah, it's bringing up this whole...
if you're going around stanking, you're not clean. I don't care if you're negative or not. You're dirty. Go take a bath, But HIV positive doesn't mean that you're dirty. It means you're HIV positive, and that's it. And it doesn't mean that how you got it was anything dirty. It could have been just like with Young. He was literally cheated on, and the partner he trusted broke his trust. That's why he calls him the trash ex. And that happens more often than I think people know. But the fact that Kyuho was so, like,
he's understanding and accepting, and he's like surprised
and accepting
that
yes.
Go Young is like willing to like share this information
and be so vulnerable
and be so like nonchalant about it. Like he's like, he's like, oh my god, like you're not crying. Like I feel so bad I feel so sad for you. Like, and
yeah, but I think
because you're treating it like it's
we
nothing.
have to realize he's had way worse.
I know his life is just oh my god, his life has been so
he's had
hard.
Way worse.
Like, every episode
secondly,
is.
I think he's accepted it, and I mean, if you've had it for 5 years, you just see it as a part of your everyday by this point. Like you're not going to be having a sleepless night over that. He already had just lost his mom. He, and he had that awful relationship with that thing. Like he's had much worse. That were, yeah. Mm-mm.
I mean, so are we looking hopeful for the next couple episodes? We have 3 episodes left, Kevin. Are we? How do you think this show, like this is like our mid-season review?
I like really
this is the final guy. I'm pretty sure. So
I hope it is. Well, if it's not, that means we got a great story ahead.
But I think it is, but it's gonna be about whether we stay with him or not.
Right, and I'm really hoping that this is a win for Young. He deserves a win because he's only win that he's had so far has been his first book. Like he's established himself as a writer, which is a win in itself, right? But when it comes to his life, particularly his romantic life or his relationships in general, it's been all of these very hard and complicated kind of relationships that he's had, with the exception of his friends, and even that we see that there's a complication where more than likely they don't know that he's even HIV positive.
Yeah, the friends don't even know. This is the first person he's ever told, which is kind of insane.
Right.
His mom didn't know. His close friends did not even know.
Yeah. So I'm hoping this ends up being a win for him, where he can literally just be 100% himself with this person. And I said this on the normal pod before, but whoever you're with should be adding to your peace. Like he already has a lot going on, and he's trying to find peace.
You don't need a troublemaker.
Right. He doesn't need someone to come into his life and make things more complicated than it already is. He's trying to become at peace with what he's got already. And whoever is coming in should be adding to that safe space that he's trying to create for himself. Because once he's outside of that and at work and with his friends, it's not going to be as safe, He deserves that. I think he really needs that.
He deserves the world.
His own well-being, for his own mental, emotional well-being. He needs that. But I thought this was cute. It was really nice to see this. And this was heavy, but I feel this episode 4 was heavier.
Yeah, I want to say like this episode was like technically like more messed up, like more.
Yeah.
more, I don't know. It's more challenging for him as a character, but last episode felt heavier with the big shock of everything else. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't get any darker. Hopefully.
Yeah.
He needs some light in his life.
Because people made it seem like episode 5 was incredibly dark. And I'm like, it was bad. There were things that happened, especially getting the HIV positive. Kind of notification.
But I feel like we're weirdly like looking up in life. Like there is like something positive out of this episode. It's not as dark and gloomy.
Yeah, because I feel as if, and I think that experience he had with that thing, and then a year after that, how he kind of, I guess really had mostly moved on from that. I think as a part of it, in a weird way, but it makes sense. He kind of matured a little bit.
Our Hyung is so mature at his grown 28-year-old.
Yeah, he's now because he had so much of life experiences before young. 30.
Yeah.
I think he's now like he has a better grasp of how to live, you know, than he did when he was a young, reckless twink, you know. So I think now things are a little different. But yeah, I'm excited for the next episode.
I am
too.
I
can't wait. And I think the people are listening are excited about it.
If they're still listening after this long episode.
This is a long one, but that's okay because that's it for this bonus episode of RyCanTopMyKnee. Be safe, use condoms and or PrEP and Doxy, and be educated before you top that knee.
Oh, now you stealing my line. I said hope the rye in your life wraps up your knee, y'all. Wrap it up.
You so mine. Wrap
it up.
Anyway, good night, y'all.
Good night.
Wrap it up. Bye, y'all.